Hey, so just wanted to make a video about something, a part of something that's going on with me and my business. It's been a while. A lot of stuff has been happening. That is a cool looking van. A lot of stuff has been happening, and didn't get to really any trouble, but there's a lot of stuff that I've had to just been fighting through lately. Business, what's it called? The IT business is doing fairly well. Like, it's doing its thing, but I need to put more time into it. But it looks like I probably won't be able to do that, just because of the issues that have arose in my life. Not to be vague, I just don't really want to get into it. I'd rather just focus on the solution, which I have been. It's possible that I might have to get a job, a day job. But when I talk about getting a day job, I'm talking about something like 85 to maybe even 90, 100K. And I do want to avoid doing that because I feel that is a cap to my actual earning potential and what I actually want to do in terms of the next few businesses that I'm working on. In terms of development, I've been working on, so yeah, that part sucks. But in terms of development, I've been working on the Growbox project. I actually integrated a self-signing certificate authority into the API itself. So essentially, you go to the address port 3000 /API/generate, and then if you do generate with nothing behind or no / after that, and putting in like a device name or a name that you want for your certificate or signed on your certificate, it'll automatically create a random string. So GB device dash random string, and then forward that onto that URL. So like generate / that random string. So that was pretty cool. That took a little while to integrate. I needed that because trying to get MongoDB up and running and making sure that MongoDB itself is secured with a TLS certificate or TLS level certificate. I wanted to make sure I can actually push out these certificates. So I used a project called Self-Signed, which is working pretty well. And I took it and integrated it into my project just by taking the .js file, because it was a single file, which is great. And then I edited it, or made some changes to it. And now it gives out keys of any key size that I want. So I hard code a key size of 4096 or 4 kilobyte key size. So that's pretty nice. It takes a while to generate a 4 kilobyte key size. So in testing, I do a 1 kilobyte key size, or 1024. So that's happening, and I took a little break because so this is where the innovation, the shit that's hitting the fan, or one of the things that's one of the pieces of crap that's hitting the fan for me. So the salon business it's going, but it's not just doing well enough. So I have to find a way to fill the seats that are in there. Talk to business partners and things like that. We're actually looking to try and sell the business pretty soon, but I can get a better sale price, and I can avoid selling if I actually fill those seats up even more. We probably got about 4 barber chairs that need to be filled, so that's 5 people in there right now. That's not bad, but we have what's it called, stylish chairs that need to be filled. We've had people that moved out and things like that for one reason or another. Managing beauty is pretty hard, and I do want to still do a blog about that eventually, but in due time, and hopefully I can have more time to do things like that fairly soon. So what I came up with, I was doing my usual exercise last night, and I was like, how can I get it to where we can fill these seats? What can I do? And I thought to myself, well, I need names. I need individual barbers, and I need them to know that we are here. We've been operating for about 1.5 years or so, and it's just like, now it's to the point where I got somebody that's there, and he's doing quite a bit of work for us. I've cut expenses where I could to try and improve our financial standing with the business itself. It's still not doing well enough to where the partners still have to put money into it. So we got to get out of that, right? So it's like, okay, how can I develop something or use my skills that I that I work with and, you know, work on a daily basis to actually make an improvement in the business itself and get us to where we need to be. And long story short, I said I need to get numbers from Yelp. Yelp has an actual API, or a great API, very easy to use. You send it your credential, you send it your search criteria, like for instance, you know, barbers in, you know, this location, near this location, excuse me, and then it'll actually give you a large JSON object back as a response. And, you know, you have to sign up for an API key and things like that. But Yelp is not good enough because Yelp mainly deals with whole businesses. So I would be trying to get salon owners to try and come to me as a salon owner, and it's just like, hey, can I talk to anybody that wants to leave your shop? You know, so it's, that would be foolish. So I said, well, what is another site or another service that actually does, you know, the barbers themselves as individuals are exposed, and I can actually start doing things like getting their information, so I can actually do cold calls or do a list. We have a guy that is going to be working on sales. Hopefully I'll do a video with him eventually. But one of the things I want to do is get him a list so that he can start selling the spots. The way it'll work is, if he gets something off the list, where he makes his money, commissions, is that he makes his money off the weekly booth rental. So I don't really care at this point if the shop is not making, you know, as much money as it could have, and I have to take a little bit of a hit. It's a lot better for me to take a hit than for me to take money out of my pocket. So I looked at Booksy.com. I know one of our nail techs actually does work off of Booksy, and she does all her appointments. So Booksy is a booking or appointment booking website, and it's used by the individuals, the professionals, to actually book appointments. So there's Gopanache, I call it, and then there's Acuity Scheduler as well. So Booksy is open to where you can actually do searches. And for instance, I can actually search the whole database and say, hey, I want barbers near this zip code. And it'll actually give me the barbers across in those in that zip code, and then I can actually see, hey, this is how much, or these are the barbers there, so I can get links to their pages. But what I'm running into now is I have to get all those links off those pages, which I've gotten. Now I have to work on getting those links off those pages, following those links, and then clicking where it actually gives me their phone number. So that's the next thing I have to do, where I have to actually start clicking into, into the browser, almost like clicking like I'm in the browser, so it can reveal that information and execute the JavaScript that's there. So that's the next thing. But if I can just at least get the list and then give it to the person that's making the cold calls, he can click it manually until I come up with a version of the script itself. Maybe import the it's a bash script right now, because bash is just always easy to just wget curl or what have you and do things, and then I can actually get information from there. So what it'll do is I'll have it collect all those links, and then I can pipe that into something else to where after that it can start collecting all their Twitter information or any socials that they put up, and any other information such as addresses and names and stuff like that. So then I can actually pipe that into something like Node.js or something that's a little bit more robust that allows me to interact with the page's JavaScript a little bit better. I haven't done too much JavaScript interaction with Bash. Don't believe it'll actually do it too well, but that's just thinking. And it's not like on the page where this information is just a hidden div or something like that, and it reveals itself when you click on it. It actually you have to click on the button, and then it'll run a JavaScript to actually import that or to show that information. So I got to deal with that, and that's how I'm going to innovate and make a list of people that I can cold call to get my salon filled. The point of all that, I mean, it's a long drawn out explanation. You know how I talk. I can talk for days. But the point of all that is, even during times when you're having issues with business, you're having issues with your life, you still have to find a way to overcome and innovate. To innovate to make sure that you can actually make it through those hard times in a manner that you actually feel comfortable with or you're satisfied with. I want this business to be successful. I want to try and sell it for at least a minimum of like 700 grand. 700 grand, I net probably about, after everything, I net probably close to 100 grand, 6 figures, you know? So it's like, if I can do that, that'll be great. If I can sell it for the, you know, I don't know if we can, but in terms of business valuation, I don't think we can do that. But, or I don't think we can do this, which is sell it for 1.2 mil. If I sell it for 1.2 mil, I'm well into the 6 figures, getting closer to the 200 mark, 200, 250 mark. That, I can take that, pay off, and again, netting that, paying off all debts. So that'll solve, like, you know, the bigger problems I have in terms of money and everything like that. Pay off all debts, and even pay off my vehicle, and have money put away, and then have money to put a down payment on a house, and even start a new business. So it's like, I can have all of this if I find a way to sell those spots. And that's my thing. I need to sell those spots, and I have to find a way to innovate to the point where I can actually get the information that's necessary, or get the intel that's necessary to sell those damn spots. And that's what I'm focusing on. The problems are there. They won't go away. If anything, they'll keep on coming as you're making more money. I was talking to a business partner, or my business partner last night in my IT company, and I was like, you know, like, how, with everything that goes on, how can you expect to be, how can the middle class, or people that are in middle class and business owners, entrepreneurs, it's almost like, why do I even want to do this? Because I have to go through all this BS. I have to deal with customers, tenants, you know, I have to deal with employees, if anything, and there's nobody to save me, in a sense, you know? And it's like, you know, what can I do except for to help myself? And that's the point, is to help myself, to pick my sorry ass up off the ground and say, screw it, I'm gonna make it, I'm gonna figure this out, and I'm gonna find a way to actually make this successful. If it doesn't and it fails, well, so be it, but I'm gonna fucking go down fighting as best as possible, and just do it as logical as possible. So I had a bit of an epiphany last night, and I was like, listen, what if I just figured out a way to get information so I can start cold calling some of these people? And just saying, you know, give the guy a script and say, hey, listen, you know, we're a local barbershop, nail salon, barbershop, barber, hair, I don't know how you would say it, like barber, stylist, and nail salon. That's an all-in-one opportunity here, and we'd like to see if you want to actually rent a space here. We got your information off of blah, 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 and we want to see if you can come on in and check us out. And that's my thought, and it's like, okay, how can I do this? So that's my little spiel. That's my video for today. Hopefully I'll be able to complete the script tonight. I started it earlier this morning. I have to manually actually do the first search query. Then after that, I'm trying to make it to where it'll actually iterate through all the pages. And then once it iterates through all said pages and gets me all the links for all the people on those pages, then I can actually give that to the guy to do cold calls, and go from that. I'll go from that point and see if we can actually start, you know, making that actual script even better. Having Bash feed or getting the raw data into like a CSV format, and then pumping that into Node.js or something like that, so that I can, pumping that into Node.js so that I can actually get information that I, what's it called? Get the information that I need to actually reach out to these local barbers, stylists, and nail techs. All right, as always, thank you very much for watching. Appreciate you.